So, hi Louise, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Vicky.
Oh, you're so welcome. Can we please start by you giving an introduction to yourself, your business, and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Louise and I am a small business publicity expert. So I help businesses, primarily product-based businesses, get featured in the press so they can grow their audience and sell more.
Amazing, thank you. So, I invited you on today to talk specifically about Christmas.
Yes,
We're recording this in June. The episode will
we
go
are.
out in August. So,
Mhm.
and for some people, they might think, gosh, this is really early. We're talking now, we're almost 6 months away to the day, I think. Why is August the right time for product businesses to think about Christmas?
Yeah, so it's absolutely crazy. I always think, it's the warmest month and I am sat here talking about Christmas. But the reason that we have to start so early when it comes to PR for Christmas is because magazines have lead times, and lead times is how long it takes a magazine to be planned, prepped, all the articles written, printed, and put on the shelves. And usually that's around 3 months for like your monthly magazines such as Country Living, Prima, Red. But when it comes to Christmas, you also have your standalone magazines. So things like the Christmas magazine, Simply Christmas, Country Living Christmas special magazines, which will come out in September. So that is why we start now, because it's such a massive topic for the press to cover. They need that extra time as well to get together all of the information, because it's not just, the gift guides that they'll be putting together a bit. It's everything around mental well-being, diet, fashion, everything. So it's such a massive topic. So they start everything so early when it comes to Christmas.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for explaining that. So, actually, I'm just thinking so that we're really, really clear for everyone, when we talk about Christmas PR, what exactly are we talking about and how is it different from the PR you might be doing the rest of the year?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what I want to say is let's talk about what PR is, because I think this is a thing. So, PR in its general form is reputation management. So, it's everything you do within your business. But I think what a lot of small businesses think of when they think about PR is publicity, which is using the media to promote our businesses, whether that's our story, our products, our services, whatever it might be. And Christmas PR really is just using the season to get featured in the press. So it's not a hugely different to any time of the year when you're doing your PR. It really is just using the season to do it. Like I say, it's doing it a lot earlier than you would any other sort of PR.
Perfect. Thank you. And are there different opportunities at Christmas? Because I'm thinking so gift guides might be one thing you mentioned that earlier. Is it more that there are more opportunities to sell? Because we're obviously here to talk about products, to sell products at that time of year.
Yeah, for product-based businesses, it is absolutely the biggest opportunity of the year to get featured in the media. Like you said, there are the gift guides. And that's the main one, really, your product gift guides, and they feature in nearly every magazine out there. And it's the biggest opportunity because if you're maybe a soap business and your main target audience is female magazines, this is an opportunity for you to get featured in the men's magazines because they're doing gift guides for her. And that's why it's a bigger opportunity for you, because there's so many more doors that open. But there are other sort of articles that you might want to get featured in. It could be something about how you started your business. It could be giving expert comment on your business. It could be top tips on how to survive Christmas with the mother-in-law, all that sort of thing. But for me, product gift guides, if you're a product-based business, gift guides are the place to try and get your business featured.
Amazing, thank you. And I would love to talk a little bit more about gift guides because I'm sure there will be plenty of people who hadn't even considered them as an option. So, what kind of products, first of all, are a good fit for gift guides?
So the first thing is when people come to me to do their Christmas PR, they go, I don't have my Christmas products ready. And I'm like, that's absolutely fine, because the gift guides don't really feature Christmas themed products. They feature products that are giftable. So that is the one thing to bear in mind. They like giftable products, things that are colourful, that are really going to pop on their pages. So when you're thinking about your products to pitch, think of the ones that are giftable. And I think that is the main tips that I can give with the gift guides. So they are really looking for, say, giftable products, but also ones that are value for money, especially in this economic climate. You'll see a lot of gift guides asking for things like under £30, under £10. So it's just really thinking about what products you have within your range and which ones would fit within different publications. But I think if you're just getting started with the Christmas gift guides, the key is to choose one product. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, but there's so many gift guides out there and I've got lots of different products which will fit into them. But if you're doing your PR for your first time, getting featured in the gift guide, focusing on one product completely gets rid of the overwhelm. And I think that is absolutely key.
That's a really great tip. Thank you. So let's say you've identified your product, the one you really want to push for this Christmas season. What do we do next? How would someone go about finding opportunities for gift guides and deciding whether their product's a good fit?
So the thing you want to do is do your research. What magazines does your product fit? So think about the readership of the magazines, and then you can contact the magazine, whether that's going through the editorial assistant and just asking who's putting the gift guide together this year, and hopefully they will give you the email address. That's what I do. I go around and I call them all up. I email my contacts to see who I can get, and then they give me the leads that way. And that's exactly what you can do too. It's not rocket science. It's just having the confidence to say, hey, can you help me here and point me in the right direction? So, but I think doing that research initially, is your product going to be a fit for the magazine? Because if it's a natural magazine, for example, something like Top Santi, you know, they focus on natural products, but you've got like a synthetic product, you know, synthetic candle, whatever it is, then that's not going to be a fit. So making sure that your product is going to look great in the magazine and appeal to the readers is key, because otherwise you're just wasting your time and the journalist pitching otherwise.
That makes sense. I guess you're thinking about who's going to be buying the product and what type of magazine would they read.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's brilliant. And in terms of pitching to a journalist or an editor, what are they looking for when they're selecting products? Because I assume that from August onwards, they are going to be inundated. And obviously, some of these gift guides are bigger than others, but sometimes it might just be half a page.
Yeah.
How can we stand out?
I think it's giving them all the information they want. So when you're contacting somebody for a Christmas gift guide, and if you know that they're looking for gifts for her under £30, that's what you pitch. And I think this is the biggest mistake, because product-based businesses sometimes think, oh, well, I want to get my product featured in the press, but I don't have anything that fits in that category. And I'm just going to send my gift for him that's over £50. And instantly that's a delete. So making sure that you are sending exactly what the journalist asks for is absolutely key. And don't worry if you don't fit the first gift guide that you come across, there will be lots of other opportunities. But yeah, give them the right information. So they are going to want things like the price, they are going to want the stockist details, and they are going to want an image. And the image is key. It's really make or break when it comes to whether you get featured, because like, you know, you look through the magazines, they have got those clear images. They're on a background like they're not on a background, sorry, exactly like the images you would use on Amazon, white backgrounds. And like I say, colourful and giftable. If you have a look through any gift guides from last year, you can use something like Readly to do that. You will see that all of the products are usually really colourful and not Christmas themed. I know I said that once, but it's, you know, people get in a twist about that. They do not have to be Christmas themed.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And should we just be sending like one product photo or more than that? Yeah, what's good and what's just overkill?
Yeah, so when I do it, I would send one product. If you like, if I say you only, if you're doing your PR for the first time, send one product. If you want to send a maximum of 3, fine, send 3. But it's that overwhelm thing for you and the journalist sometimes. Because I always say, you know, I think when you go into a restaurant and the menu is massive and you sit there for ages thinking, oh God, I don't know what to have. And in the end, you just plump for anything. That's what the journalist is going to be like. You don't want to overwhelm them. So, you know, 1 to 3 products maximum. And I would just send the best product image you have of each product. So make sure that is where everything's sort of straight on. You know, you're not photographing it from the top, the bottom, there's no funny angles. It's really clear. And that I think is really going to help you stand out. And like I say, images make or break when it comes to your PR. You can have the best product, but if your image is like, you know, blurry, doesn't, you know, on a background, what little props next to it, it's not going to work. It has to be just like your Amazon ones, absolutely spot on.
Perfect. And actually, thank you for saying just like the Amazon ones. I think that would be really helpful because I know lots of people are on Amazon. They'll know exactly what you mean by that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's made it really clear. And do we need to be sending like a blurb or text about our products, or again, is that too much?
Yeah. You can send a text, the blurb about your products, and I would just send the description you have of your products on your website or on Amazon. Don't overthink this, because generally when the Christmas gift guides come out, all it is the image of your product, the price, and the stockist. That is really all that's going to feature. So when the journalist opens up your email, that's why your image has to be, well, I want on my page, because when it goes in the gift guide, really that's all it is: the picture, the price, and the stockist. And just a few tips on the stockist details. make sure you send it, obviously. So and that would be your website address. But a lot of people say to me, well, I only sell on Amazon or I only sell on Etsy. Is that a problem? And the answer is absolutely not. So for print media, what I suggest is, if you only sell on those platforms, is to buy the domain name for your business and then point that to your Etsy shop or your Amazon shop. Just because if you get featured in a print magazine and they put Amazon as the stockist, the likelihood is the reader will never find you on Amazon. So if you put your domain name, point that to your Etsy shop or Amazon shop, they'll go straight there, more likely to find it. But when it comes to digital PR, so that's getting featured on the likes maybe of Glamour magazine or Closer or Hello magazine online, they will prefer your Etsy link or your Amazon link because they do affiliate marketing. So it's going to give you more of a chance to get featured in the press online.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, the way the PR is definitely changing, especially online over the years. It used to be that, we'll just feature the website, but now they obviously try to make money from their online press. And one of the ways is being an affiliate for Amazon or Etsy or on the high street or whatever it might be.
That's really good. Oh, that's a really great tip. I've never heard that one before. Thank you. That's brilliant. Okay, so as I say, this episode is out in August. How soon should business owners be sending their pitches? Do we need to be doing it right now? Is it different whether you're targeting print and online?
Yeah, so really you want to start now. I've already got some Christmas gift guide leads, and they close on Friday, so that's the end of June, which is crazy. But generally, as a timeline for your Christmas PR, now is the time to choose those products you want to pitch to the press. And like I say, make it really simple for yourself, 1 to 3 maximum. Make sure you have everything that you need. That image is absolutely key. Write your little bit of blurb. Like I say, take the description off Amazon, Etsy, your website shop, whatever. They don't need your backstory or anything like that. This is a gift guide. They are literally going to be featuring your product. I know how much your business means to you and all the blood, sweat and tears that went into creating it, but the journalists don't care when it comes to gift guides. That's a completely different feature. So that's what you want to do in June. Now get everything sort of done. The next step is then, like I say, start contacting those long lead magazines, those ones that come out monthly. So whether that is Prima, Country Living, etc., Cosmopolitan, the magazines that you think your products are going to be a fit for. Ask who is putting together the Christmas gift guides. Once you get that information, send it to that person and include everything, the blurb about your product, the image, send that straight away, high-res image, send it straight away, the price and your stockist details. And then when it comes to August, September, you want to do exactly the same for the weekly press. Again, so that's your Best, your Bella, that's your newspaper supplements, sort of the Notebook, S Magazine. Again, get in contact with them, ask who's doing the Christmas gift guide, and once you get the details, you send them the information. And then when it rolls around to August, October, November, we do exactly the same for online press. So it's a real 6-month process.
Perfect. And thank you for setting that out. So I guess that means if someone is listening to this, a bit later than the date it comes out, perhaps it's September or even October, it's not too late. So that's really
It's not too
reassuring.
late. Yeah, not too late. It's just you are looking at maybe the weekly magazines or the newspapers or the online press. There's still opportunities. And actually last year, the last press request I got was in December. I think it was the week before Christmas for the Metro online. So there are opportunities right until Christmas Day, really.
That's really reassuring, because I was thinking, gosh, we're recording this in June. I hope by first week of September we're not too late. So that's really
Yeah.
good.
And if you are selling on, Amazon and you're part of the Prime scheme, that gives you opportunities because you can go for all the last minute gift guides as well. So yeah, lots of opportunities.
Brilliant, thank you. So let's move away from gift guides for a moment, if that's okay, Louise, and talk about other types of PR. So we might be doing it around, let's talk, keep talking about Christmas, because I think that's keep us on theme. But what other types of PR might we consider at this time of year?
So there can be something around your business, sort of why you started your business, especially if you're a Christmassy sort of business and maybe you run, I don't know, you do wreaths or something for the door, or you do baubles or something that's Christmassy that you can say to the journalist, I started my business and there's a really nice tie-in with Christmas. It will always be really nice. So magazines like Country Living often do things like this, and Women and Home magazine. There's also, like I say, the top tips. So if you are a candle brand, maybe you can talk about how to bring the Christmas fragrances into your home. There's also things like the expert comment as well. So you can talk about how your products can help at Christmas. There are so many different opportunities, and I think it is just thinking outside of the box. It can even be about you as a person when it comes to these sort of things, if you want to share that, because a lot of the time, if you've got a Christmas story, I think one of the magazines put out a request this week asking for what was your best Christmas ever, and often they'll just give your business a little mention in there, and it doesn't necessarily have to be super related to your business and Christmas. It can be, you were away on holiday or something, but they'll give you your business as tag. So it's worth looking out for different opportunities. And those sort of opportunities you can actually find on Twitter or X now, just by searching the hashtag journal request.
Amazing, thank you. So let's say we've got an idea for a story we'd like to pitch. Do you have any advice for how we go about this, especially if we're approaching a publication completely cold? So this isn't something we've seen. Let's just say, coming back to your example, we are a brand and we sell wreaths, and so it's completely tied in with Christmas. I think this is a great story. What do we do then?
So what you first need is your hook. So why are you contacting them, and why will their readers be interested? That's the key thing. So making sure, again, our research, does our business fit in with the readership of the magazine? So we want to write just a really short email. This is not where we are telling you everything about the story, and we don't need to write the story for them. We are just putting together a couple of paragraphs about our business and why we think it would be a great feature for the magazine. So it could be that you're a wreath business. This is the perfect time to feature our business because it's obviously seasonal, and this is how it all started, what the challenges were, how it's all going, that sort of thing. And it's really just a couple of paragraphs explaining that. And if you're going for that sort of feature, you're probably looking at somebody like the features editor, who you will want to send your pitch to. But if it is something around the business and you starting it, the images that you need are slightly different. You are going to need pictures of you in your business. So you making the wreaths, sort of thing, and pictures of the wreaths on the doors and all that sort of thing. So not so much your cutouts for that, but more lifestyle shots.
Brilliant, thank you. And actually, following on from that, I wanted to ask about photos. So are we expected to provide photographs for any story that we pitch at the initial stage?
I would always say high-res images are available, and I would usually put a couple either in the email window, body of the email, or attach them, especially if it's more of a lifestyle feature, because they want to see that you've got images. Recently had a client featured in Platinum magazine. They loved her story, but the thing they came back with was, has she got images? Because if she hasn't, we can't run with it. Luckily we did. But it's not like the old days where they would send out a photographer and you get a photo shoot and all that sort of stuff. You are expected now to send images and have a nice bank for them to choose from. So some tips for the photographs, if you're gonna, well, you can absolutely do them yourself, just make sure they're high res. I would use a tripod, if so it's not going to be blurry or anything, that sort of thing. But to have different landscape, portrait, so it can take up different space on the page, different poses, whether it's just you, then you with your products, then just your products. So just have a really good array of images, because you don't want to lose a feature just because you couldn't provide the photography.
That's really useful, thank you. So that's good to know that we need to have photos before pitching anything.
Absolutely, yeah. Always have your pictures ready. That's probably the first thing to get done.
And it sounds like you also need, if you're going to have a shot of yourself, it can't just be a snap from your phone. It needs to be like a proper high quality image. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely use your phone to take the picture, but don't do like a selfie or anything. Set it up so you've got a nice picture of you. So whether you're going to use that, if you're using the expert comment route, you've got a nice picture to send. Whether they use it or not doesn't really matter, but at least you've got something to send. But like I say, the product images are going to be especially for the gift guides, are the most the ones you're definitely going to need. So don't pitch without having those.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm hoping that for anyone who's selling their products already, they're already going to have like really great product images already, whether that's for their website, Amazon. So hopefully that's absolutely fine. So it just might be the founder shots that perhaps needed. So I know, Louise, that you can help people with getting Christmas PR and getting them into gift guides and things like that. But for anyone on a budget who says, actually, I just need to do it myself this year, I'm quite early on in my business, I can't afford to do that. What are some of the things that they can do to increase their chances of getting featured?
So I would definitely recommend checking out Twitter, X, calling the wrong thing, hashtag journo request, because you will find journalists on there looking for different things for magazines. It is primarily, expert comment and about your story, but there will be the odd product one in there as well. So that's a really good way. It's free. Check out that hashtag journo request. Otherwise, I would just choose some magazines that you think your product is going to be relevant for, all the ones you want to get featured in. Otherwise, you're going to think, oh my God, there's so many magazines out here, I don't know which ones to contact. Just choose, 5-10 magazines, do the research on them, contact them, and try to get featured in those. But I know it's like you want to get featured in the press, so, and then that's what people do. They just go for any magazine out there. But it's much better if you can do a targeted approach to your PR, and you can absolutely do it yourself. It is just finding the time to put some time aside. And I think treat your PR as you would your social media. I'm sure most of us spend way too long putting together a post on socials, when that time could be spent also doing some PR. So, if you can allocate just an hour a week just to pitching or making sure your products images are perfect, then that's all going to help. But it's just about not overwhelming yourself. Choose a few magazines, one product, and just go with that.
That's so helpful. Thank you. And thank you for everything you've shared, Louise. I think this has been some really practical advice I think will really help people get their products featured this year. So my final question is, what is your number one piece of advice for someone trying to get media coverage for this festive season?
I think it's have the belief in yourself and just press send. There's nothing going to happen bad. Nothing bad will happen. I think a lot of people think, oh, the journalist is going to ignore me. That happens to me. I've been doing this many years and I still don't get replies from some of my emails. The worst thing that will happen is the journalist just presses delete on your email. So just have the confidence in yourself. Your products are amazing. And if you don't think they are, go back and look at all those reviews you have. You just need the confidence. I think that is the one tip, because I think a lot of people want to do their PR, but they are just scared because they don't know what to say. And the key is to keep it simple. Hi, I have this product. If you're doing a gift guide, I hope it would be of interest to you. Here's the information, and I've got an image. That's all it is. It's so simple. So just have that confidence to write that email and send it to the journalist.
That's such good advice. Thank you. And if you don't mind me adding that I've done a few years ago when I launched my book, I did a bit of PR and I did it myself. And I was really scared about approaching people and getting rejected. But actually what I found was you don't get no's and no one's horrible to you. You just don't hear anything if it's a no. So actually nothing happens. Literally nothing happens.
Yeah. That can be a little bit disheartening, but you just have to remember journalists are getting so many emails every single day. And yours might just got lost in the spam. They could have accidentally deleted it. They just didn't have time to read it. There's no harm in resending it if they didn't. And another tips I use is if you use Gmail, enable what's it called, mail track on it, so you can see if a journalist opened your email. And if they didn't, just change the subject. So, and if they didn't, you can resend it. It's, and you're not bothering the journalist. I think that's another thing that people are worried about. Oh, if I keep sending, will I bother the journalist? Not at all. They need stories and products to fill their pages. So don't be scared. Just send it.
Well, that's a really good tip about mail track. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, that's each other.
That's really useful, thank you. But yeah, so just to reassure everyone, because actually for me, not getting a reply wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because I was more worried, and I don't know if you've heard this before, I'm sure you have, I was more worried about getting a reply saying, well, why would we feature this? This isn't a story, or something along those lines. But actually they're busy, aren't they? They don't have time to do that. Nor I'm sure most people wouldn't do that anyway. But I think that was the thing that scared me the most, was getting negative feedback.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, and like you said, that nothing happens. They just do not reply, and that is absolutely normal. And especially with gift guides, if you've seen a request out there, and they've said we're looking for gifts for her under £20, and you have sent everything that journalist needs, including the high-res image, they have no reason to contact you, because you have done the perfect job, sent them a gift for under 20 quid. You've sent the image, the price, the stockist details. They don't need anything from you. So if it's good to go, it's good to go. You might just open the magazine, 3 months later, and there is your product. That happens so much. So even though you don't get a reply, it doesn't mean it's a no. Maybe you've been featured and journalists don't always tell you either. So it'll be just a nice surprise at Christmas.
That's something that actually happened to me as well. I did get featured somewhere that I had absolutely no idea about. So yeah, I think that's really good advice. I just want to put anyone's mind at rest who's feeling really scared, because I know that when I had a product to sell, I was absolutely terrified about pitching it to journalists. So hopefully my story and all of your useful advice is really going to help people feel a lot more confident about doing it this year.
Yeah, I hope so, because like I say, it is the biggest opportunity, and there's nothing better than seeing your product in the press. I mean, it is a massive ego boost, and and it also the benefits that it brings to your business, like traffic is obviously the number one thing it brings. So if you have got like email list on your website, or you're capturing data, you can nurture that person that comes to your website, because unfortunately not everybody that sees you in a magazine is going to purchase your product. Some people might, but it's the biggest thing I think with your PR is the opportunity to build your email list and nurture them people into customers that purchase from you regularly.
And I also think it's really nice on your website to be able to say you've been featured in Grazia
Absolutely.
or Red Magazine or Home, wherever it is. I also think that's brilliant to be able to say, okay, my products have been featured here, because that gives you a little bit more social proof, particularly if you haven't had as many reviews as you might like, because they're so hard to get at the moment. It'll just be a nice little boost as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it always gives you something to talk about. I mean, I've owned multiple product-based businesses, and one of my candles was in Prima magazine over Christmas. And like when that magazine came out, we had £1,400 worth of orders just from that one hit. So that was amazing. But then we had the same candle in a different magazine. We got nothing from it, but grew our email list. So whatever happens is going to happen. But if you don't put your product forward in the first place, nothing will happen. But yeah, it's such a massive opportunity, Christmas. So, and like you say, you've got the time, you're listening to this podcast, you've got the time to get that one product ready and out there.
And it sounds like there's always something to be gained as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely.